Shalom Aleichem. We find, and this is Parashas Yisro, that Klal Yisrael were makabel Torah. The Orach Chaim, in the beginning of Perek Yutes, tells us that we find three requirements that Klal Yisrael needed in order to makabel Torah. The first requirement was that they needed effort and toil and amelus in order to makabel Torah. Where do we see that? That it says in the pasuk, "Vayisru mirefidim." They traveled away from the city called Refidim. And Chazal say Refidim is from the lashon of rafui, weak. They were lax. They were lazy. They had to go away from Refidim. When they went away from Refidim, then they were in the position of effort and able to be amul b'Torah. That was the first requirement that they needed to makabel Torah. The second requirement we find was humility, anova. How do we see that? It says, "Vayisu mirefidim, vayachanu b'midbar." A midbar, says Orach Chaim, based on the Gemara, is a place that a kol dorchem ba. Everyone could step, anyone could tread upon the midbar. It's open for the public. It shows us the midah of anivus, of humility. The third requirement is unity, achdus. The Klal Yisrael needed to be ki ish echad b'leiv echad. All one unit, each person feeling for the other person as one big heart. Klal Yisrael having one heart. Where is the source of this? The source of this, says Orach Chaim, it says in the pasuk, "Vayichan sham Yisrael neged har." It doesn't say "Vayachanu," the lashon rabbim. Vayichan, a lashon yochid. That Klal Yisrael was one unit, one yochid, ki ish echad b'leiv echad. We can ask ourselves, if Torah was merely an intellectual exercise, intellectual knowledge, why are these requirements needed? If a person wants to enter a calculus course, even he doesn't want to put any effort into the course. It comes easy. He learns it without any effort. One would think that it won't ruin his ability to take the course. If he's the biggest proud person, he's not a honor at all. He's the proudest person in town. Also, what does that have to do with learning calculus? He couldn't care less about his fellow friend. Also, so this shows us that Torah is not only the intellect, not only the knowledge of Chachma of Torah. The other day, someone told me that my Rosh Hashiva, Mnasseh Tzvi Finkel, when he spoke last time at the Siyum Hashas, he said over that we say after a Siyum, Hadron Aloch, Hadron, I want to come back, Hadar, I want to come back to you, I want to come back to this Masechta, I want to start all over. So Rosh Hashiva said that these words are the most beautiful words, delicious, sweet words. I just want to expand for a moment on what Rosh Hashiva said, that I never heard of any graduate, any postgraduate, or any person that went to graduate school, that after he finished years and years of studying, goes over to the professor and says, Hadron Allah, I want to come back to you. I want to take every class over, every test from A to Z. I don't think it ever happened in the existence of this world. But when it comes to learning, we say, I finished a Masechta, I worked hard, I want to come back to you. What does this show us? It shows us that Torah is more than in the intellect, it is a relationship. There's a kesher to the Torah. There's some type of connection between Klal Yisrael and Torah. As we find Chazal say, Kutsha b'richu v'araisa chadu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Torah is all one. And a relationship, in order to build this relationship, therefore it needs requirements. The 3 requirements that the Orach Chaim pointed out. Number 1, it needs effort. A person wants to build a relationship, a person has to put effort, has to put work, has to show that the other side, the other party, he cares about. He wants to get to know the other side. He wants to have a kesher, have a connection, a tie between both sides. It takes work. Number 2, humility. Midas. If a person doesn't have a proper midas, he can't have the relationship between him and the Torah, him and Kadosh Baruch Hu, won't happen. Number 3, a person needs unity. A person has to care for one another. It has to be achdus. It has to be caring not only oneself. A person has to be broader oneself, a care about everyone, in order to build this relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and with the Torah. The Rosh Hashiva, of Nasan Tzvi, he always loved to say over this Orach Chaim, and the last requirement, which Ki'ish Echad B'Lev Echad, was his last drasha that he gave Shalosh Shudas, the Shabbos before he was nifter. He said in Yeshiva that this phrase of Ki'ish Echad B'Lev Echad, which is required in order to Makabel Torah, has been the savah, the will of all the Rosh Hashivas in the previous generations of Mir Yeshiva. And he wants to continue that. He wants to continue this idea of Achdus. This idea of Ki'ish Echad B'Lev Echad, because this is a requirement that we must have in order to Makabel Torah. He was also fond of saying over the following story of the Rosh Hashiva of Lezer Yudel, of Eliezer Yehuda Finkel, which was a Rosh Hashiva in Europe, and then he came to Eretz Yisrael, and he built the Mir Yeshiva in Yerushalayim. That in Europe, the Mir Yeshiva didn't have a dormitory, and it didn't have a dining room. So the Yeshiva gave money for the boys to find a local place to stay and a local place to eat, which we call room and board. One time, a whole group of Bachrim came into Rosh Hashiva, and they said, "We think that the money that the yeshiva is giving is not enough." And they discussed back and forth, yes, not. And then Rosh Hashiva of Lezer Yudel said, "No, I think the money is enough money for these needs." And the Bachrim said, "No, we don't think so." So one Bacher had a little bit of a chutzpah and said, "Rosh Hashiva, Yachid v'Rabim halacha k'Rabim." We know that the halacha is when you have an argument between one person and many people, we always follow the understanding and the rule and the psak of the rabbim. So we feel that we need more money, and the Rosh Hashiva, we're the rabbim, Rosh Hashiva the Yachid v'Rabim halacha k'Rabim. The Rosh Hashiva looked around the room and said, "Over here, everyone in this room is worried about themselves, is cares about themselves. I, as Rosh Hashiva, I am worried about the whole Tzibur. I am worried about every single person. You, everyone in this room, you're a bunch of yechidim. You're a bunch of singles. Since I care about everyone, I'm the rabbin. Yochid v'rabim halacha karabim. The halacha is like me. Yeshiva used to use this story to explain this Milo Ish Echad B'Leiv Echad, that every person has to make himself a Leiv Echad, one heart, the heart of everyone, the heart of the total Sibur, not totally involved in himself. He has to open himself up and become one big heart, a heart of the whole Sibur. With these 3 points in mind, these 3 important milas in building our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and building a relationship with Torah, which requires a melus b'Torah, effort. Effort includes not only in the actual learning, the effort also encompasses all the steps taken to come to learn. All the effort, all the hard work to come to make the effort to open the Gemara, open the Sefer, is also included in a melus b'Torah. So number 1, we need a melus b'Torah. Number 2, it's necessary the midos of anova. And number 3, it's important this ke'ish echad, b'leiv echad, not only to think about one's own self, he has to be part, his leiv has to be one leiv of the whole tzibur, the whole community has to have one heart. With these 3 points in mind, as Hashem, which we zecher to strengthen our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and with His Torah. Thank you very much.